Welcome to Live Interactive English. I'm Matt.
And I'm Sam.
Today we are reading an article called PinkPantheress, Queen of the Board and the Beat.
Okay. Well, this title is kind of interesting. I do know what they mean by the beat because PinkPantheress is a singer. And so she must be this, this must be talking about the music beat. So she's the queen of the beat. So it must be that she's got some good songs out, which I know because I have heard a few of her songs.
Okay.
And yes, all of her songs have a pretty good beat. But again, that more just means like she is good at singing and she is popular and all of that kind of stuff. But the other half of this title, I'm not sure what they mean by Queen of the Board.
Queen of the Board. Maybe she is a surfer and she's very good at surfing, so she's Queen of the Surfboard.
Could be, but where she is from is probably not so warm since she's from England and that area is not necessarily known for surfing.
I've got it. Some people say I'm king of the board when I'm teaching English because I draw some pretty good stuff on the whiteboard.
So she's a singer and a teacher? I guess it could be, but maybe that doesn't make as much sense. I was thinking maybe like some kind of board game. That's where my mind went because my family always grew up playing lots of board games.
Like Monopoly.
Yeah, maybe she's Queen of Monopoly.
Queen of Monopoly.
Although,
you don't really become king or queen in that.
No, and Monopoly usually tends to lose a lot of friends because I feel like every time I've ever played Monopoly, everybody starts fighting and just arguing about who wants this property or that property. So hopefully it's not that game board because then she might not have all that many friends.
Right, well, let's get into today's article and find out how PinkPantheress is Queen of the Board and the Beat.
In July 2025, a photo went viral online. A young pop star had just won a chess tournament in Kent, and her fans were amazed. Few knew that she played chess at all. That star was PinkPantheress. So who is PinkPantheress? Her real name is Victoria Beverly Walker. She was born in 2001 in Bath, England, and grew up in Kent. Her unique stage name came from a question on the British quiz show The Chase, and is also a nod to the Pink Panther film series.
Hello everyone, today we are looking at part 1 of our article called PinkPantheress, Queen of the Board and the Beat. So let's begin with this article. In July 2025, a photo went viral online. Okay. So a photo last year became very popular online. It went viral, so it means that many people shared it around the internet. It was everywhere. You couldn't miss it probably, but I guess I did.
I also didn't see it, but in just a moment, we're going to figure out what that picture actually had in it. And so we read, a young pop star had just won a chess tournament in Kent, and her fans were amazed. Few knew that she played chess at all. So not just that she won the game, a lot of her fans didn't even know she knew how to play chess or that was something interesting to her at all. So kind of that makes sense why it went viral because everybody was a little bit shocked. So we have this word chess. Chess is a noun, and chess is a game that you can play with a bunch of little pieces. I think there are 16 pieces per side, and you've got like your king and your queen, and each piece has a different rule of how it might move. And so a lot of people really like this game, and there are people who are very, very good at chess, who are grandmasters and things like that, and they travel the world playing chess. And then there's people that just play in their house just for fun because it's a game that kind of anyone can learn, but maybe fewer can actually master. And our example sentence is, my grandfather taught me how to play chess. So this must be the board that we were talking about.
That's right.
In
Chess
the title
is a board game, so you have a chess board. And I've noticed that chess seems to be becoming more popular again.
Yes, I've noticed that too.
There's a lot of social media videos about people playing chess and about young people going and surprising people by showing how good at chess they are. And there's even a lot of like apps and stuff now where you can play chess and learn how to play chess properly. All right, so people were amazed to see PinkPantheress winning a chess competition. So amazed means shocked, surprised, or full of wonder about something. So it usually means surprised in a good way and in a way that you want to know more about what is happening. So an example sentence, everyone was amazed by the beautiful ocean views. All right, continuing with our article, that star was PinkPantheress. Okay, so that star that won the chess competition was PinkPantheress.
Very interesting.
All right, let's go to Hanny.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。这次要介绍的人物是流行歌手 PinkPantheress 粉红豹女孩。在2025年7月，有一张照片在网络上疯传 ，PinkPantheress 刚在肯特郡赢得了一场西洋棋锦标赛，她的歌迷们大感惊讶，几乎没有人知道她竟然会下西洋棋。好，那么 chess 这个名词就是指西洋棋 ，amazed 是形容感到惊讶的。这话课文中。
All right, so we are back and again, we just had this photo. We were just talking about this photo that went viral because a young pop star just won a chess tournament. So maybe not something that you would kind of think as much of like, okay, if you're spending all your time singing and doing that kind of stuff, you might not have time to really study chess because to be good at it, you really have to work hard at it. But who is this young pop star? Well, if we continue on, it says, so who is PinkPantheress?
Her real name is Victoria Beverly Walker. She was born in 2001 in Bath, England, and grew up in Kent.
Okay.
So she's from England. She's a popular English pop star.
Continuing on, it says, her unique stage name came from a question on the British quiz show The Chase and is also a nod to the Pink Panther film series. So this is a very famous film series, The Pink Panther. If you ever would like to watch them, they're very funny. They follow a detective, the Pink Panther, who is good at his job in a very silly way because he is kind of always making a mess or crashing into things and then somehow ends up still discovering who is the one who did the crime or whatever it might be. Very funny film series if you are interested in that type of film. All right, we also had this adjective unique in the sentence, and unique, the main definition of this means one of a kind. There's only one of that thing. But another definition that it gets used quite often is just to mean something that is not as common or something that is special in a certain way, something that you don't see as often. So yes, this name might be unique in that no one else has the name, but it's also kind of an interesting or uncommon name, something that you might not think of. Our example sentence says, the trip to the desert was a unique experience. So this sentence is probably using it more as it was an interesting experience. It was something that they hadn't done before, but maybe not necessarily one of a kind.
Okay, time to check in with Hanny.
PinkPantheress 的本名是 Victoria Beverly Walker。她是2001年出生于英国巴斯，在肯特郡长大。那她独特的艺名是源自于英国的益智节目 The Chase 当中的一道题目，同时呢，也是向粉红豹系列电影来致敬。好，单字 unique 是形容独特的、独一无二的。这边有两个重点，第一个是 grow up， 它表示长大、成长，是不及物动词。那你可以在后面接形容词 VING 或者是介系词片语，用来补充说明成长地点啊，或是成长过程中的状态，像是 Jamie grew up listening to classical music。Jamie 是听古典乐长大的。 第二个重点是 a nod to something， 这是表达向什么致敬、致意或是呼应。nod 原本意思是点头，那当名词的话，可以引申表达说认可、致意。因此 a nod to something 就是对某事物的致敬、呼应或隐含的参照。举例来说 ，The album is a nod to the legendary singer。这张专辑是在向那一位传奇歌手致敬。好，接话课文中。
Okay, so we have learned a little bit about the pop star PinkPantheress and how she is also very good at chess. And after this quick break, we will see and read more about her.
Chess runs in her family. Her aunt, Susan Lalich, is a 5-time British women's chess champion and an international master. PinkPantheress has said that she was going to pursue a career in chess, but music came first. In 2021, she began posting her own songs on SoundCloud and TikTok when she was a university student in London, and fans around the world quickly took notice. Her first mixtape, To Hell With It, 2021, reached the UK charts and earned her the BBC Sound of 2022 title.
Okay, and we are back. So just before the break, we were talking about PinkPantheress and how she won a chess tournament. So let's learn a bit more about her. Chess runs in her family. Her aunt, Susan Lalich, is a 5-time British women's chess champion and an international master. Okay, so that's pretty impressive. If you are a chess champion, that's something that's very difficult to do. So a champion is the winner or whoever took first place in a contest or a competition like a tournament. So an example sentence, our basketball team finally won against the champions. And we say that she's also an international master. When someone is a chess master, it means they've reached a very high level of playing chess. They've won enough competitions and beat enough people to prove that they belong with this title of master.
Yes, there's many different titles for chess, and I think they get even scoring ranks and things like that. I think the top is Grandmaster. I don't know how much farther ahead of International Master that might be, but she's definitely pretty far up there. And again, she's won that competition 5 times, so that's pretty good. All right, continuing back with our article, it says, PinkPantheress has said that she was going to pursue a career in chess, but music came first. Okay, so things could have been very different for PinkPantheress. She could have just decided to stick with a career in chess. And if she had done that, that would mean that her job would be a chess player. So career, this noun, just means what your job is or your life's work, or basically what do you do for a living that earns money. So right now her career is pop star, but had she gone a little bit of a different direction, it could have been chess. And our example sentence says, Millie hopes to start a career in medicine. So maybe she wants to be a doctor, or maybe she wants to, could even study the different types of medicines or how to make them or things like that. But that is what she hopes that her job will be in the future.
Okay, let's go to Henny.
西洋棋在他家族中世代相传，他的姑姑是5届英国女子西洋棋冠军，也是一位国际大师。PinkPantheress 曾经表示，他自己原本打算往西洋棋界发展，但是音乐抢先了一步。好，单字 champion 这个名词表示冠军、优胜者。Career 是表达长期的职业事业、职业生涯。这边有一个重点，我们来看看 run in the family 或是 run in somebody's family， 表示家族遗传、世代相传。这个片语是用来表示某种特质、能力或倾向在家族中代代相传，就跟 run in somebody's blood 意思相近。例如 A talent for art seems to run in her family. 她的艺术天赋似乎是家族遗传。再看个例句是 The spirit of adventure runs in his blood. 冒险精神流淌在他的血液中，也就是说，他的冒险精神是与生俱来的。介华课文中。
All right, we're back, so let's continue on with our article. In 2021, she began posting her own songs on SoundCloud and TikTok when she was a university student in London, and fans around the world quickly took notice. Okay, so she's posting her songs on these kinds of social media, like SoundCloud is something where you can post music, and then TikTok, of course, you can post little videos with music.
Yes, and so it says her first mixtape, To Hell With It 2021, reached the UK charts and earned her the BBC Sound of 2022 title. So her very first mixtape did very, very well, and it even earned her some recognition with the BBC, and it gave her this title of Sound of 2022. So around that time, and that's a very short after kind of starting, so it really did get picked up pretty quick. Her fans found her very quickly, and she was producing very good music very early on.
All right, now let's check in with Hanny.
2021年还在伦敦就读大学的他，开始在 SoundCloud 还有 TikTok 上面发布自己的歌曲，迅速受到全球乐迷关注。那他的第一张混合歌集就打进了英国排行榜，荣获 BBC 2022年年度之声的殊荣。文中用到 mixtape， 原本是指混音带，那么现在多半是指歌手自行发布、风格比较自由的非正式专辑。好，接话课文中。
All right, we are back. So we have just learned a little bit about PinkPantheress and how she started to become famous through using things like SoundCloud and TikTok, and even how she is also very good at chess because it runs in her family, even with her aunt being a chess master. Well, we've got way more to learn about her next time, so we'll be back for part 2, and we will see you then.
In July 2025, a photo went viral online. A young pop star had just won a chess tournament in Kent, and her fans were amazed. Few knew that she played chess at all. That star was PinkPantheress. So who is PinkPantheress? Her real name is Victoria Beverly Walker. She was born in 2001 in Bath, England, and grew up in Kent. Her unique stage name came from a question on the British quiz show The Chase, and is also a nod to the Pink Panther film series. Chess runs in her family. Her aunt, Susan Lalich, is a 5-time British women's chess champion and an international master. PinkPantheress has said that she was going to pursue a career in chess, but music came first. In 2021, she began posting her own songs on SoundCloud and TikTok when she was a university student in London, and fans around the world quickly took notice. Her first mixtape, To Hell With It 2021, reached the UK charts and earned her the BBC Sound of 2022 title.
最后，我们来复习今天课文里的单字文法。单字的部分有 chess 名词是指西洋棋 ，amazed 是形容感到惊讶的 ，unique 是形容独特的、独一无二的 ，champion 名词表示冠军、优胜者 ，career 名词表示长期的职业事业、职业生涯。文法的部分，第一个学到 grow up 表示长大、成长；第二个学到 a nod to something 是向什么致敬或者是致意，也有呼应的意思。第三个学到 run in the family 或是 in somebody's family 是表达家族遗传、世代相传。那以上是今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
Winnie, what? Aren't you going to a wedding? Yeah. Don't you know you're not supposed to wear white to a Western wedding? Why? Because the bride wears white.
Oh no!
I need to go change.
Today we are going to go more in depth of different patterns you might find on clothing, starting with stripes. Striped clothing are just long lines that either go across or vertical, and there are different colors or different textures from the shirt's background itself. So you can clearly tell different types of long lines. Now, a fun, interesting tip is that if you want to look more slim, you should avoid wearing horizontal lines and wear vertical lines.
Ah, okay. Well, speaking of lines, we also have more lines. This print is called a check print or a checkered print. And as you can see, it's just like the board game of checkers. On the board game, you will see alternating colors that make up little squares, and it's in rows. And as you can see over here, they also have squares, and sometimes you can have 2 or more colors, but the most important part is the squares are even and they kind of resemble a checkered or checkers board. Then we have something that is very similar. You don't want to confuse the two. This one, it's called a plaid design, is more just talking about a lot of lines that might even be different colors. Some people think that this is flannel, but actually when people refer to flannel, you're talking about a thicker material. They do oftentimes have this type of plaid design. That is why people get the two mixed up. But I hope today you can clarify what the different patterns are.
Winnie, isn't it interesting that there are actually so many different ways to describe what your shirt or your, whatever you're wearing, they look like, all these different patterns and textures.
Yeah, that's true. And that's what makes fashion so much fun. You can always experiment with different patterns because it might even change the entire look. But that is all we have for today. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and send us a DM or an email if there's something you want to say in English and you just don't know how. Kiwi later!